On behalf of the Board of Directors and members of the National Veteran Small Business Coalition, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 10th annual presentation of the Champions of Veteran Enterprise Awards ceremony. I'm Scott Jensen, Executive Director of Nbsp. Nbsp is the nation's largest nonprofit trade association representing veteran and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses in the federal marketplace as a prime and subcontractors. When the Nbsp was established 10 years ago this past June, Nbsp recognized the importance of identifying and recognizing those federal agencies and large business prime contractors who took the steps necessary to meet or exceed the 3% statutory goal for awards to service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses and an 8% goal of awards to veteran-owned small businesses. Goals generally are not met without a concerted effort by dedicated people as well as leadership support. We believe this effort needs to be recognized, and thus the Champions Awards were born. Historically, we present awards at a Champion Awards luncheon as part of our Veteran Entrepreneurial Training Symposium. But as you know, Vets 20, scheduled for San Antonio this past May, was canceled due to COVID-19. Despite the cancellation, the Nbsp Board of Directors voted to continue the Champions Awards as recognition of our top performing partners and emphasized that this is still critical to the success of all veteran and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. All awards have been mailed to the recipients this year, but we also wanted to take this time to publicly recognize the awardees. This program will be recorded and available on the Nbsp website at www.nvsbc.org. Before we present the Champions of Veterans Enterprise Awards, we have a very special message from the Chairman of the Senate Small Business Committee, Senator Marco Rubio from Florida.
Hello, I'm Senator Marco Rubio. I'm the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, and it's an honor to welcome you to the Champions of Veterans Enterprise Virtual Awards program. Each year, the National Veteran Small Business Coalition has the opportunity to honor federal partners and prime contractors who have exceeded the 3% contracting goal to service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses and the 8% awards to veteran-owned small businesses. Veteran-owned small businesses are critical to the federal marketplace and to small businesses in every industry, especially in our industrial base. Now more than ever, it is important to recognize the contributions of our veteran small businesses as we continue to weather the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and the economic disruption it's created. Chairman, I was proud to work with my colleagues across the aisle and the administration to enact the Paycheck Protection Program, which served as a critical lifeline for more than 5.2 million small businesses and saved over 51 million American jobs. I remain committed to ensuring small businesses have the resources they need, especially veteran entrepreneurs who have served their country and continue to serve the economy and their local communities. So congratulations to all of the awardees. Thank you for the work you do on behalf of our veteran-owned small businesses. God bless.
Thank you, Senator Rubio. And now, the awards for the exceptional support for service-disabled veteran small businesses for FY 2019. NASA Armstrong Flight Research Center, total procurement, $225 million, 6.3% for service-disabled. This is their 6th year of receiving this award. NASA Langley Flight Research Center, total procurement, $452 million, 3.8% for service disabled. And this is their 1st year as an awardee. NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, total procurement, $2.5 billion, 3.5% for service disabled veteran-owned small business. This is their 3rd year as an awardee. NASA Shared Services Center, total procurement $839 million, Service disabled veteran percentage, 4.9%. This is their first year as an awardee. NASA's Stennis Space Center, total procurement, $159 million, 6.7% for service disabled veteran. This is their second year as an awardee. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory, total procurement, $152 million, 6.7% for service disabled, third year as an awardee. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, total procurement, $3.1 billion, 6.1% for service disabled. This is their seventh year as an awardee. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, total procurement, $61 million, 3.9% for service disabled. This is their seventh year as an awardee. The U.S. Department of the Army, total procurement, $75.8 billion, 4.6% for service disabled. This is their sixth year as an awardee. The Army Materiel Command, total procurement, $50 billion, 4.5% for service disabled veteran owned. This is their sixth year as an awardee. Army Corps of Engineers, total procurement, $22.3 billion, 3.9% for service disabled. This is their eighth year. Boeing Defense, Space and Security, total procurement, $53 million, 5.8% going to service disabled. This is their sixth year as an awardee. Raytheon Intelligence and Space, total procurement, $1.1 billion, 3.3% for service disabled. This is their sixth year as an awardee. Raytheon Missile and Defense, total procurement, $1.5 billion, 4.4% to service disabled. This is their first year as an awardee. And now the awards for the exceptional support for veteran and service disabled veteran-owned small business. The Defense Commissary Agency, total procurement, $146 million, 19.8% for service disabled, 26.2% for veteran owned. This is their first year as an awardee. Defense Contract Management Agency, total procurement, $25 million, 6% for service disabled, and 40% for veteran owned. This is their third year as an awardee. Defense Information Systems Agency, total procurement, $6.3 billion, 7.7% to service disabled, 9% for veteran owned. This is their second year as an awardee. Oak Ridge National Laboratory, total procurement, $1 billion, 5% for service disabled, 10% for veteran owned. This is their second year as an awardee. The U.S. Army Medical Command, total procurement, $750 million, 15% for both service disabled and veteran owned. This is their eighth year as an awardee. National Guard Bureau, total procurement, $1.4 billion, 12.4% for both service disabled and veteran owned. This is their fifth year as an awardee. AECOM, total procurement, $265 million, 9.8% for service disabled, 10.6% for veteran owned. This is their fifth year. Amentum, total procurement, $919 million, 4.7% for service disabled, 10.6% for veteran owned. This is their first year as an awardee. BAE Systems Electronic Systems, total procurement, $1.1 billion, 5% for service disabled, 9% for veteran owned. This is their 7th year as an awardee. BAE Systems Intelligence and Security Sector, total procurement, $522 million, 5.9% for service disabled, 17.2% for veteran owned. This is their 10th year as an awardee. Booz Allen Hamilton, total procurement, $1.6 billion, 14.7 to service disabled, 21.7 to veteran owned. This is their 8th year as an awardee. CACI, total procurement, $1.6 billion, 13% service disabled, 20% for veteran owned. This is their 6th year as an awardee. Deloitte Consulting, total procurement, $252 million, 7.3% to service disabled, 13.9 for veteran owned. This is their 6th year as an awardee. DynCorp International, total procurement, $438 million, 8.7% for service disabled, 14.5 for veteran owned. This is their 9th year as an awardee. General Dynamics Information Technology, total procurement, $2.3 billion. Service disabled, 4.8%, 8.9% for veteran owned. This is their 10th year as an awardee. In situ, total procurement, $208 million, 4.5% for service disabled, 10% for veteran owned small business. This is their 8th year as an awardee. Jacobs, total procurement, $389 million, 5.3% for service disabled, 11.9% for veteran owned. This is their 2nd year. KBR Wiley Services, total procurement, $146 million, 14% to service disabled, 17.5 to veteran owned. This is their 3rd year as an awardee. Mantech International Corporation, total procurement, $478 million, 9.3% to service disabled, 18.2 to veteran owned. This is their 3rd year as an awardee. Northrop Grumman Defense Systems, total procurement, $1.2 billion, 5.4% for service disabled, 9.2% for veteran owned. This is their 8th year as an awardee. Peraton Inc., total procurement, $208 million, 3% for service disabled, 10.7% for veteran owned. This is their 1st year as an awardee. SAIC, total procurement, $716 million, 4.8% for service disabled, 10.4% for veteran owned small business. This is their 8th year as an awardee. Weston Solutions, total procurement, $10 million, 11.7% for service disabled, 12.5% for veteran owned. This is their 4th year as an awardee. Wood, total procurement, $51 million, 16.3% for service disabled, 18.1 for veteran owned, and this is their 3rd year as an awardee. On behalf of the Nbsp Board of Directors, our nation's veteran business owners, and our staff, I not only congratulate you for these awards, but thank you all from the very bottom of our heart for your commitment to veteran-owned business. And now I'd like to shift gears. Gordon H. Mansfield was a true American hero. He served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam. While serving as a company commander with the 101st Airborne Division, he was wounded during the Tet Offensive on February 4th of 1968, spending the next 45 years in a wheelchair because of spinal injuries. For his actions while his unit was under fire, He was decorated with the Distinguished Service Cross. His other combat decorations include the Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts, the Combat Infantryman Badge, the Presidential Unit Citation. Mr. Mansfield passed away on January 29th of 2013. Gordon Mansfield's service to his country and fellow veterans didn't stop with his military service, however. In one way, it had actually just begun. While serving as the president of the Paralyzed Veterans of America, he was recruited to assist the VA with some major initiatives that were underway. And ultimately, Mr. Mansfield was nominated by President George W. Bush to be Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs in 2003. While the deputy, he was frustrated by the government's lack of progress in achieving the 3% goal of prime and subcontract awards to service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses as mandated by public law. Gordon was instrumental in the drafting and signing by President Bush of the executive order, which among other things required agencies to develop plans to achieve the 3% goal, established the GSA Vets GWAC, and institutionalized VA Center for Veterans Enterprise. Under VA's plan, Gordon demanded accountability by requiring the 3% to be part of the performance plan for all VA senior managers who influenced the acquisition process. Because of his lasting impact on veterans and veteran small business owners, the National Veteran Small Business Coalition memorialized this great American and passionate veteran small business advocate with the establishment of an annual award to recognize one veteran small business owner a year who successfully owns and operates a small business, provides employment opportunity for veterans, and who, like Gordon Mansfield in his most selfless manner, gives back to the veteran community in a substantial and continuous way. It was my fortune last month to travel to a very special occasion in Greenville, Tennessee, where I presented the 2020 Gordon H. Mansfield Veteran Small Business Award to Mr. Tracy Solomon of Tevitt LLC. No one better exemplifies the principles and characteristics that defined Gordon than Tracy Solomon. Let me tell you a little bit about Tracy. A Greenville, Tennessee native, Tracy grew up on his family farm. He participated in the Civil Air Patrol program during high school, graduated from South Green High School, and then entered the Navy following his family's heritage of service to our country. While in the Navy, he honorably served his country as an aviation electronics technician and as a selected member of the U.S. Navy Color Honor Guard for high-profile presidential, honorary, and sporting events. Upon completion of military service, he entered the business world with an entrepreneurial spirit and a passion for solving business needs, which led to the birth of Tevitt. From a humble home office beginning, Tevitt is now the leading service-disabled, veteran-owned small business in the aerospace and defense industry. Tracy built Tevitt on the premise of extending his family's legacy of service to his country, to his customers, and to his community. Since returning to Greenville to serve his community, giving back and sharing his success is always at the forefront of his thoughts and actions, whether through job creation, employee education programs, or charitable contributions. Tevitt has contributed both financially and with their time to a range of causes important to Tracy and his employees. These organizations include the Holston Home for Children, Stepping Stone Children's Services, the local DAV and other veterans organizations, the Capitol Theater, Greenville High School's JROTC program, March for Babies, the Humane Society, NPAC, and many local sporting teams, and many more. Tracy believes that the life force of a community and the cornerstone of Tevitt culture depends on its members being actively involved, and he hopes to continue to exemplify this and inspire others to do the same. When a company like Tevitt, under the leadership of a veteran owner like Tracy, combines a veteran owner, veteran leaders, and veteran employees, it leverages expertise in top-notch teamwork, leadership experience, discipline, performance under pressure, and a willingness to sacrifice. I applaud Tevitt as an organization, and Tracy Solomon in particular, for your recognition of the value of veterans as employees, for understanding their great positive impact to mission success and productivity, and exemplifying the time-honored tradition of never leaving a brother or sister behind. That commitment extends beyond the confines of the company. It is represented through community activity and action, staying engaged and supporting the veteran community in East Tennessee and Greenville with gusto, dedication, and compassion. It's my honor to introduce this year's Nbsp 2020 Gordon H. Mansfield Veteran Small Business Awardee, Mr. Tracy Solomon. Tracy, the floor is yours.
Thank you for those kind words. Everyone hear me okay?
We can.
All right, good deal. As you were mentioning some of those things, it caused me to reflect. I knew some of Gordon's background, but I didn't realize that both he and my dad were wounded in the Tet Offensive. My dad was the sole survivor of his tank crew after an RPG hit it, and he suffered from that for somewhat for the rest of his life, but that's just extremely interesting. Anyway, in regards to Gordon Mansfield, true representative of a life and legacy of service. It is just personally, I'm both humbled and honored to be recognized with such an award from an organization and friends like you guys that I care so much about. Thank you to the Nbsp and for your continued support of all veteran-owned businesses. Just speaking on my own experience, starting the company in 2004, after a lot of this kicked off with many of you. I think we were all there. We saw the change when the Army handed over ownership of the Veterans Conference to the VA, what that did for companies like myself and for customers who are on the line. There was a lot of momentum that was built up by Tracy Pinson, Scott Dennison, this organization that quite frankly was lost. So for me, the NSVBC stepped in to fill that void and reconnect small businesses like ours to the aerospace and defense community. To me, that link is critical as we collectively serve the warfighter and our brothers and sisters still serving today. I've just, again, personally been a longtime supporter of Scott and the organization, and I'm excited to see the continued growth there. And with that comes you, Scott Jensen, who I did enjoy getting to meet you and Earl, and did want to give a shout out to Diane for making our soft opening. It really did mean the world to me that you guys could be here on that day. It was incredibly special. So thank you all for that. As you guys heard, my story is not unique, but in some ways it is. To me, it's special. I'm fourth, fifth generation East Tennessee. I grew up on a tobacco farm where I was surrounded by family, and we helped each other to get by, literally. As an early teenager, I joined Civil Air Patrol, which is Air Force Auxiliary, and I found myself at the age of 14 being first on site at a fatality in an effort to locate a downed aircraft. I was first on site. We did what we were trained to do. We secured the area, waited for the FAA. Again, my youth was a little different. I with the Civil Air Patrol, spent summer encampments with the 101st at Fort Campbell, flying in Blackhawks and Hueys, shooting M16, and again, honing those search and rescue skills that the Civil Air Patrol is all about. After that, I left and joined the United States Navy, went into electronics, worked on and with the equipment that Tevitt sells today. Learned a lot throughout that experience, and as Scott made mention of, I was in the honor guard with the Navy, did over 200 funerals, honoring our brothers and sisters in service and their life's accomplishments. As I went on after the Navy and into my career, again, working in electronic test and measurement equipment for 6 years with two major companies, global organizations. started going to school at night as I did in the Navy, used my GI Bill to get my MBA, and kind of kicked off those entrepreneurial juices that led to in 2003 when the service disabled set aside was created. I saw a niche in the marketplace and a need and another way to serve. So as in 2004 that I founded Tevitt, and you know, it's been quite the journey, and both getting to know myself, getting to know others, having the ability to not only serve my country, but then the financial wherewithal to turn around and serve my community. So just very blessed, and in that way. And again, we've grown from you know, from 2004, founding the company in my basement, to today. We've got 54 employees, most of whom are in East Tennessee. About half the company is in East Tennessee. The others are spread out around the country. And we do what we can for everybody's community at Tevitt. And again, as was mentioned, the real focus here at home, both having that mission of hiring veterans first, that is in our employee handbook. It's something that we practice and that we look for actively. So again, I always look at it as I left my home to serve my country, and I came back to serve my community, and that's what we're doing here. And again, as last 2 weeks ago when you guys were here, we celebrated the opening of our new headquarters here in Greenville, which, you know, we're really doubling down on this rural community here where jobs are so dearly needed. And we're just excited about our future, and not only our future, but that of the veterans community across America, and what that can do for jobs, job creation, and the lifting up of people who otherwise wouldn't have opportunity. So again, I didn't have that. A lot of people know what they want to do early in life, right? And I didn't have that. I spent a lot of my life wandering and on a path, and it's something else once you get that mission statement for your company, and then you get that mission statement for your life, and you know where it is you want to go. It's amazing just how good things happen. And that old adage of it's better to give than to receive, it's true. I've practiced that throughout my life, and again, just deeply honored to receive this from this organization, from you guys, knowing that a lot of my customers are on the line that do so much for the veteran community. Again, quite the honor. I thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay. So love you, Earl. Love you guys. Got to put that in.
Tracy, thank you so much. And again, we appreciate you and what you represent and what Tevitt represents to the Nbsp and to the broader community. We applaud you all and congratulate you for your success, for that new grand opening, and for the awarding of the Mansfield Award. And we also congratulate all of those others who were recognized today. Thank you for all you've done. I will say we look forward to awarding next year's recipients in person. And we hope that you'll come join us and receive your award on that stage at Vets 21 in Orlando, Florida. We're scheduled from the 2nd to the 4th of November. Please mark your calendars. We're tired of doing this virtually, and we look forward to having you all come and enjoy a cocktail and a symposium and awards, and getting back to seeing everyone face to face. So we hope to see you next year. Thank you again, all of you who had joined us. Again, congratulations to our awardees. And I would just say a very special thanks to the two other people who are on the screen with me, Heather and Earl, who have gone out of their way to help organize and manage this organization, keep guys like me and Scott Dennison on track. I think they're as deserving as awards as anyone who received awards today, and particularly over the last 48 hours as they really put together a professional award ceremony that doesn't really have a template out there. So thanks to you all as well. I really appreciate you too. And we wish you all a great rest of the day. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye. Thanks.